everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're continuing our read through of Brandon Sanderson's The Way of Kings, and we are up to chapter 25, entitled The Butcher. And we're not going to find out what that title really means until the very end of the chapter, but we are back in a flashback 7 years prior. So Kaladin is 7 years younger, and he is back at home in Hearthstone, and Hearthstone is in Lord Sadeas's princedom. So I'm pretty sure we get that at the very beginning of the book when we have that initial portion where Kaladin is serving in Brightlord Amram's army. And again, we haven't gotten back to that. We sort of started there, then we flash forward and then way back, and we haven't got back to that middle because something happens in there that makes Kaladin a slave when we really get to him in the proper timeline. But we're back in Hearthstone, and he is in a store, and he hears some gossipy women talking about the death of Brightlord Wistio, who used to be the Brightlord over Hearthstone. Of course, he died, and Lirin, Kaladin's father, came home to tell Kaladin about it, and also with a jar of spheres, and said that this was a parting gift from Brightlord Wistio to send Kaladin to study. Sort of a last parting gift to the family as a way to hopefully create a better life for Kaladin. Well, these two gossipy women, and apparently a rumor going through the town, is that Lirin actually stole that money, and so Kaladin is frustrated. He storms off, and he finds his mother. She's doing some work outside the house, and he's complaining to her. She's half listening, half not. Well, they get to talking, and who but Lirin comes running down the road, and he is, let me tell you, he is exasperated because the new Brightlord is arriving. And Lirin's frustrated because he didn't send ahead word that he was coming. And his wife, Asina, she comments, well, maybe it's because he's low-key and he doesn't want a big kerfuffle made about his arrival. Maybe. And so they rush off, and the thing that initially catches Kaladin, of course his mom's there, his dad and young Tien are there, is how long and how large the essentially procession is to get this new Brightlord into town. I think it's said that he had 4 horses carting his carriage, and Kaladin couldn't imagine that someone would own that many horses, let alone own all of the wagons with the furniture and the personal belongings. Well, this individual, whoever he is, halts the procession and actually stands up and sort of comes out of the wagon. His name is Brightlord Rashone, and they're wondering if he's going to give a speech, right? And he looks pretty upset, pretty not interested. I think the description is he looked like somebody who had tasted something sour, and turns around and backs into the wagon to shut the door. Lirin shouts out, Brightlord Rashone, and Rashone comes back out. Who said that? He said, it's I, Brightlord Lirin. I'm the Hearthstone surgeon. And Rashone gives a comment here. You're the one who let old Wistio die. And then he goes on to say, in a way, it's your fault that I'm in this pitiful, miserable quarter of the kingdom. He grunted, went back into the carriage, slammed the door, and off the procession went. So all that to say, not a very pleasant first experience. Well, they sort of collect themselves, people begin to disperse, and Hasina essentially wants to be positive. Well, she asks, what do you think? And Lirin says, they sort of had this little back and forth referencing essentially a game that was very common, and essentially asks, did we get one hand or the other hand? Specifically, did we throw the queen or did we throw the tower? And Lirin answered, neither. And she said, well, what did we throw? And he said, I'm not sure. A pair and a trio, maybe. Let's go back home. And again, we don't really know the ins and outs of this game, but Kaladin gives us a little bit of a summary here. Tien scratched his head in confusion, but the words weighed on Cal. The tower was 3 pairs in a game of breakneck. The queen was 2 trios. The first was an outright loss, the other an outright win. But a pair and a trio was called a butcher. Whether you won or not would depend on the other throws you made. And so Liren there is being very considerate. I don't know what we got. We'll have to see what comes next. And what we do may have a difference. And specifically, it depended on what the rest of the hands you had and the last sentence of our chapter, and more importantly, on the throws of everyone else. So it may seem that the future of Hearthstone is not in their hands, but in the hands of this new Brightlord Wistio. So that is chapter 25, the Butcher. That's the hand that Liren says that has been played. And we will see what happens in Hearthstone with this new Brightlord. Maybe you've been there. Maybe you've had a time of uncertainty where someone, a new boss, a new step-parent, a new college roommate, someone that you had to interact with closely, and maybe the outcome of your day-to-day, even maybe sometimes even your very career, rested on someone else. What's your reaction in those situations? Are you one to plan ahead? Are you one to just let the pieces fall where they may? We'll see what happens here in a Hearthstone, but we'll look forward to continuing the story in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to like the video and subscribe to the channel, that would help it certainly grow, and we'll enjoy reading through The Way of Kings together in the next video. Thank you so much.